foil, and I kept it there for around 10 or so minutes, and then I washed it using the purple shampoo, just to help with the tone that would come out from washing it. And then I let it dry, and yeah, then I just plaited the hair to get the hair out of the way, and I secured it onto the front of the wig cap. So basically I put the wig cap onto my mannequin head. I got the mannequin head on eBay. It was like 25 rand. And the wig stand I also got from AliExpress. It was also very cheap. Dude, these websites are the plug. And basically what I did was I lined up the front of the closure to the front of the wig cap, and I made sure to get it very sure, like I was very sure with my placement, and then I pinned it down. And now I'm beginning to sew. As you can see, I'm doing a blanket stitch, which is basically when you put your needle through the loop that you create once you've when you start sewing, and this helps make it more secure. So as you can see, I start from the one side, and I'm using my hand to press down the hair to keep it flat, and then I am sewing all the way around to the other side. So I'm cutting and chopping and screwing this video a little bit because it's just, from here on out, it's basically just me sewing. So once you can see the stitches, then like you basically know what I'm going to keep doing, and I'm just going to do this around the entire closure. You can make do as well. Just be sure not to sew the hair and get the hair knotted, because that just makes it a bit difficult. So as you can see, I've reached the end of the closure, still keeping it flat, making sure there's no bumps so that the hair will also lie flat. And once I reach the end, I just like double or triple loop my knot, and then I cut it, and then I tie a knot with the ends, and then I snip the ends, and that's basically it. It was really simple and easy. Something most people don't know is making wigs is actually pretty simple. It's just a lot of labor and time, and that's why people would rather pay someone else to do it, because it's a bit labor intensive, but it's very simple to actually do. So here I'm just combing out my closure, showing that it's secured down and it's all nice and sewed on, and I'm just going to tie it up because I'm going to start putting my bundles from the back. So as I said before, I have two bundles of 12-inch, one 14-inch, and the closure is 10-inch. So I'm starting with the 12-inch bundle at the back, and I'm starting with the end that is folded. And I put the needle through the weft, and I sew that onto the edge. So that's how you can make sure it's very secure, is you sew through the weft. And then when I'm going across the line, I don't sew through the weft, because it's very difficult, because the weft is quite hard to get through. So what I do is just sew beneath the weft and through the hair onto the wig cap. But then when it comes to the corners and the ends of each line, especially when you have to turn around and go the other direction, make sure to put your needle through the weft at least for 1 or 2 stitches. This helps it get flat and to prevent it looking all bumpy and lumpy on the sides. So I leave about 1 finger width between the like lines of the bundles, and I try to pin it up just to have a straight line to make it easier to sew. This sewing process is much easier. You literally it's repetitive motion, just going through and through. Just make sure not to get the hair caught in your stitches, because that just makes it a bit tricky. But yeah, I jumped ahead because this is still the same bundle. This bundle's coming to an end right now, so I'm going to show you how I switch over. But basically it was just sewing repeat, and then just being sure to sew through the weft when you're folding over to go to the other direction. So here I'm making sure to start going through the weft again, because I'm closing off, and then I do like double knot it and triple knot it just to make sure it's tied down secured. And then I pick up my next 12-inch bundle, and I just pick up where I left off, starting through the weft, making sure that it'll be secure and flat. So yeah, it was off camera for a bit because it's quite hard to get through, so I was pressing on the table. But shall we just pick up where we left off, going through the weft and then turning around and making sure that the hair comes back the other way. Okay, so by this stage, I'm at the top, I'm almost done, and I've finished my second bundle. I'm now on the third bundle, which is the 14-inch, and that goes directly at the top. I start with the shortest hair and I end with the longest hair to make sure that the hair all ends at the same length and is full. And at this stage, instead of keeping it doubled, which is what I've been sewing before, I'm now using the single track, and I'm sewing that way. This will help it look flatter and make it look more natural. You can just also start bringing the lines closer together instead of the usual one finger apart. They can be like half a finger, or just as much as you can gauge that there's space that needs to be filled is. Some people at this stage, they start cutting. I prefer not to cut my tracks at all, because when you cut the track, that's what leads to shedding. So I prefer not to cut the track so long as I can help it. I usually only cut at the end because I never finish the third bundle. So the second bundle is complete. The third bundle is usually about half or a quarter that's left. So that's when I cut it only at the end. So as you can see, I'm going to just keep going until none of the wig cap is left, and then I'll close it off. And I just end off as usual, just by going through the weft, double and triple knotting, and then like tying it again and then knotting again. You can never be too sure. You just want to make sure that your tracks are secure in the wig, so you can knot every now and then, and you can double loop in your blanket stitch every now and then. It's totally fine. Just do what you feel like you need to do to make sure that your wig will be secure. So at this stage, I've finished the wig essentially, and now I'm going to start with the bleach.